Winter lovers don't actually love winter. They love the version of themselves that only appears when the world slows down. And there's a reason that version only shows up once a year. It's late December. You're walking home. The streets are quieter than they were a few months ago. You pass a window, warm light inside, someone laughing, a family finishing dinner, a couple sitting on a couch, not really doing anything in particular, and you slow down. Not because you're tired, not because anything happened. You slow down because something about this moment feels different, like a part of you just exhaled. A memory drifts in from nowhere. A person you haven't thought about in months. A winter evening from years ago. The smell of something warm you can't quite name, but somehow still recognize. And for just a moment, you feel strangely present. Not rushing towards something, not recovering from something, just here, just this. That feeling has a name, and it's not nostalgia, it's not sadness, it's something much more specific. If you've ever felt more like yourself during winter than at any other time of year, this video is about why. Because the reason some people wait all year for this season has almost nothing to do with the cold, the snow, or the holidays. It comes down to three things that happen inside your brain when the outside world finally goes quiet. And by the end of this, you'll understand something most people feel every single year, but never stop to actually explain. 1. Less noise. The first thing is simple. Winter gives your brain less to react to. Most of the year, your brain is overwhelmed with input, not because something is wrong, just because modern life never really stops. Every notification, every plan, every obligation, even when you're not aware of it, your brain is processing all of it, sorting, responding, managing. It never fully stops. Think of it like a browser with 40 tabs open at the same time. In summer, every single tab is running. There's always a notification, a plan, a place to be, someone waiting for your reply, a party you're deciding whether to attend, a message you keep meaning to answer but never quite get to. Your attention gets pulled outward, always outward. You're not really thinking, you're just reacting constantly. Then winter arrives, and one by one, the tabs start closing. Evenings get shorter, the cold keeps people inside, the social pressure drops, the calendar empties out, plans get canceled and nobody feels guilty about it. The world stops asking so much from you. And for the first time in months, your brain isn't constantly reacting to things. When that external noise drops, parts of your mind that rarely get any attention suddenly have room to breathe. The part that reflects, that imagines, that actually processes how you feel instead of just pushing past it. You stop processing the outside world and start processing yourself. For most people, that shift feels uncomfortable, too quiet, too still. They reach for their phone the second it starts. For winter lovers, it feels like relief, like finally sitting down after a very long day, like the world stopped asking for just long enough for you to ask something of yourself instead. 2. The past comes back. The second thing that happens is less obvious, and for a lot of people, it's the one that catches them off guard. When your brain has less noise to deal with, it doesn't go blank, it goes backward. It starts pulling up memories, old ones you didn't even realize you still had. You're making tea and suddenly you're 8 years old in your grandmother's kitchen, watching steam rise from a cup on a wooden table. You hear a specific song and an entire chapter of your life comes flooding back, the people, the feeling, the version of yourself you almost forgot existed. You see old photos and feel the weight of a friendship that quietly faded somewhere between your 20s and now. It doesn't happen like that in July. Something about winter makes it different, and the reason is simple. When your brain isn't busy with new information, it goes looking through what it already has. It connects dots, revisits old rooms, replays conversations that felt small at the time but somehow stayed with you. The memories were never gone. They were just buried under the noise. Winter is one of the only times modern life actually gives you the silence to hear them. But here's what most people miss about those memories. They're not just nostalgia, they're information. They're your brain showing you who you were before everything got so complicated. Before the career, the responsibilities, the constant performance of being fine. A version of yourself that's still in there. Quieter now, but still there, still real, waiting for a moment exactly like this one. And this is where it gets uncomfortable. Because once the noise is gone and the memories start returning, something else starts happening too. You start noticing what's missing. Not dramatically, not all at once, just quietly, honestly, the way a room looks completely different once the lights actually come on. 3. The mirror. The third thing winter does is the most powerful, and it's the one most people never see coming. Once the brain goes inward, it doesn't just show you the past, it shows you the present, the real one, the one you've been too busy to look at. Think of it like this. You've been living in a house with all the lights off, moving around by habit. Winter turns the lights on, and suddenly you see things that were there the whole time. You scroll through old photos and realize you haven't really talked to a certain person in 2 years. Not texted, actually talked. You get a rare evening to yourself and discover you're not actually tired. You're just empty. Like something inside has been running on fumes for a long time, and you only notice when everything finally stops. You sit with nowhere to be and realize the thing you've been chasing all year wasn't actually what you needed. It just kept you moving, and moving felt close enough to living. Winter acts like a mirror, not a flattering one, an honest one. What it reflects isn't always comfortable, but it's usually the truth you've been too busy to hear. Maybe you need real rest. Not the kind where your body stops but your mind keeps running. Maybe you need a real conversation, not another scroll through someone else's highlight reel. Maybe you've been outrunning yourself, and somewhere back there, you left something important behind. For some people, that realization feels heavy, a reminder of everything that drifted while they weren't looking. For winter lovers, it feels like relief. Like finally being allowed to be honest with themselves, about themselves. So let's bring it all together. 3 things happen in winter that almost never happen at any other time of year. The noise drops, the brain turns inward, and for the first time in months, you can actually hear yourself. The memories surface, not to make you sad, to show you who you were before everything got so loud, and the missing things appear, the connections you've let drift. The rest you keep postponing. The version of your life that actually matches what you need. That's what winter lovers are really chasing. Not the season, not the cold, not the atmosphere. They're chasing clarity, the kind that only shows up when the world finally stops demanding their attention. And maybe the hardest part is this. Most people spend their whole lives waiting for the right moment to slow down, the right time to reflect, the right conditions to finally hear themselves. Winter lovers stopped waiting. They figured out that moment comes every year, whether the rest of the world is ready or not. The noise doesn't disappear in winter. You just finally get a chance to hear through it. And somewhere underneath all of it is the version of you that existed before life got so loud, before everything became urgent, before you forgot what it felt like to just sit with yourself and be okay. That version didn't go anywhere. Winter just gives you a chance to find them again. Maybe winter isn't the season they miss. Maybe it's the person they become when the noise finally disappears. If that landed, drop one word in the comments, the first one that comes to mind, no explanation needed.